Stephen Gore, 4 times Mr. Motocross champion, 5 times Australian champion. Steve, you've seen a lot of evolution through the sport of motocross. You've been around a very long time. You've seen a lot of changes. How does it compare to when you won your championships, and say how the championships of today stack up?
Well, it truly is very, very different, Danny. Back in my day, in the mid-70s when I started, it was very unprofessional. And I think I brought a lot of professionalism to the sport, both in training, both in psychology and the mental side of thing with psychology. So it's really evolved over the years. And we went into a bit of a hiatus on motocross for a while and more into supercross. And then the fitness wasn't as important. But nowadays, the fitness is critical. It's really, really important. And the sport's really jumped to a higher level because of the necessity to have that fitness out there.
Yeah, it's definitely evolved, so that level has definitely come up a lot more, hasn't it? It's really something that you see the top level riders have to be on the top of their game now.
Oh, they most certainly have to, and it's just critical. And you look at America now, they're all super fit guys. They train for many, many months beforehand the seasons get started, and it's just so critical now.
One thing, Steve, also that you are very well known for is your versatility. You did a good stint in motocross, obviously. You also tried your hand at some flat tracks, some road racing, and even in the four wheels. Tell us a little bit about that, how it helped you across the board with all your skills, and then why aren't we seeing more of that today?
Yeah, well, the first thing, Danny, is I love the sport, and I wanted to try everything, you know, with road racing, desert, all those things, and I wasn't scared to go fast either, whether it was a road race or 100 mile an hour, 160 kilometres an hour out in the desert at Fink. It didn't really scare me too much, but nowadays, well, let's go back. Why I did it was it really helped my skill on the motocross bike, and that was where I was being paid to ride the motocross. So mid-corner speed, different aspects of motocross was very, very important. So it really, really made a big difference. Nowadays, it's too difficult for the guys to do this because there's big sponsorship. They can't really afford to go and get hurt maybe in a one-off deal like the Fink. So I can understand why they're not doing it, but I really think that they're missing out, particularly dirt track side, mid-corner speed, braking, drifting. It's a big help to overall technique.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Now, the big question though, I guess, for today, round 1, brand new championship. You've been around a long time, you know a lot of the riders. Put your money where your mouth is. 1, 2, 3 for the day. How do you think it's going to pan out?
Oh, mate, you've really caught me there. So I haven't really analysed the game that much with the current entries. But in the MX2, I'd have to lean to Kyle Webster at the moment. This is a sand track. He likes sand. He comes from WA. I think Kyle will be right up there. And in the MX1, well, that's tough. It's going to be really tough. Really don't want to put a name out there on any one rider because I want to sit on the fence a little bit because it is going to be tough.
Stephen Gore, absolute legend in motocross. Thank you very much for your time. It's great to get an insight as to what you've seen in the changed motocross over all these years.
Yeah, thanks, Danny. It's a great sport. I still love it after so many years, and let's keep powering to the future.
Let's have a look at the MX3 lineup brought to you by Maxxis Tyres. Blake Fox, Connor Towell, Ryder Kingsford, Connor Radicic, Benny Novak, Hunter Collins, Jack Mather, Campbell Williams, Riley Fitzpatrick, and Kobe Drew.
Kobe Drew there, yeah. Ty Keane also in the list. And we've got a huge bunch of riders here.
Can Connor maintain his confidence, his mental ability around here to control the race like he knows he should be able to? And I'd really like to see him he's been fast at plenty of other rounds. This one here is a great chance for him to get off to a great start and really pressure for the win today.
As you can see here, Danny, the yellow number there on Connor Towell, number 22. Likewise for 21. So we've got Connor Towell, Ryder Kingsford, and then we've also got Campbell Williams, who they're 3 of your riders that are in their last year of juniors, the ones with the white numbers. They're already turned senior, so really, it can get a bit confusing, but what a fantastic race here we've got on our hands. About to see the drop of the gate. Race 1 of the Maxxis MX3.
Ooh,
Let's see who jumps out of the gate. Good jump from Connor Towell. What a hole shot from up the inside there, and he will lead him into turn 1. Ryder Kingsford, not too bad at all on the Yamaha, is going to come out in second, and Blake Fox. There's some big key players that jumped exceptionally well off the concrete.
Well, this is exactly what we wanted to see. Everyone that we wanted up the front is so at the moment. Plenty of learning to happen for these riders. As we see Fox wasting no time at all on Kingsford as they went through that second turn. He dove up the inside in. I tell you, he's putting the pressure straight on Towell as they go through the center part of this track. He wants to make these passes early.
Now, I just thought I saw a glimpse of number 66, Caden Menia, the Western Australian who's just turned 14. Now, this is the kind of brilliance we expect to see from the young kid. Big mistake from Ryder Kingsford, nearly going down. He managed to keep it on 2 wheels. That does look, that is Caden Menia back there in 4th place, I believe.
Well, the official whole shot, the Matrix Concepts whole shot does go to Connor Towell on 22.
Brock Flynn has gone down there. So expected a few more shenanigans going on there on lap 1. If you have a little bit of a look here, looks to be our timing saying,
oh, outside, nice move by Fox, standing up into that rut, just kept that momentum going, and he has moved himself into the lead. Now, big by Connor Towell, getting booted in the back wheel there.
But beautiful, I don't know if you noticed, but our race leader, Blake Fox, doubled 2 braking bumps into the corner.
Nice.
It was fantastic. We were obviously both looking at
two different riders
at one time.
One was beautiful, one was quite horrible, actually, as we see them up over the finish line for the first time. It is Fox out in the lead. There is Connor Towell in second. Ryder Kingsford did drop off momentarily. A small mistake maybe on the backside, but he is right there back on the back wheel of Towell, as we see Towell still stepping out, going a little sideways. Have a look here at our replay. We'll try and pick it up somewhere in the middle of screen, I would say. Oh, no, on the outside.
Oh, that was Brock Flynn, the Western Australian rider, just gone down in a big way, and he's trying to avoid another rider.
Well, just stepping out a little bit too wide, that back wheel stepping over the top of any of the grip. As we see Towell there, another rider down the triple.
Oh, that's Rory Fairbrother there, number 222. I just need to make quick mention here, Hammy, because he's had his struggles. My young guys, actually young junior, Campbell Williams, on the BCP Honda machines up there in 4th place at the moment. So
just look at the background, he is not that far behind. There he is, there in shot, the Honda rider at the back, so he can see these riders. If he starts pulling out some quick lap times, he will be able to close that gap in and challenge for the podium position. As we see the rest of the field going through. There is the pass already, though, by Kingsford. Yep, smart riding right there. He has set that one up from the previous lap. He has stepped up to the inside, did a little bit of a switch over, and got himself into a quick line. He can see that Blake Fox is starting to check out. He has checked out a lot. 4.4 in that last lap and a half.
Well, let's consider he was pole position, fastest times, and when we look back to Canberra, he really was in a league of his own, wasn't he? He was able to win, but he did it fairly easy. He didn't look like he was stretching himself too much, as opposed to Wonthaggi, where he really had an impressive ride from Ryder Kingsford. Now, Ryder's taken off straight away from Connor Towell, who seems to be dropping back just a little bit. Blake Fox seems to be stretching that lead out. So it'll be interesting to keep our eyes on this timing screen and see how it progresses throughout the race. Some of these MX3 riders, especially the younger ones, they're prone to arm pump a little bit. Maybe their fitness not quite as good as some of the other riders, perhaps, and we can see their lap times start to drop off.
Well, Towell does look like he's not quite got the intensity that we saw out the first lap. You know what? Arm pump can happen that quick, especially on a running track like this. If you push it, Kingsford's down. A back wheel spin out. I can see the mark right there on the up ramp.
Now he has to turn around. He needs to make sure he comes back on the track, which is super important. Obviously, he's not going to make up any time there.
No, he's lost a lot of places.
Yes,
so
of course.
And a big kick right there, man. Calm down. This is the thing with the younger riders.
Well, Ryder Kingsford's in 2nd place in the championship, and he's still in the hunt. And he is so hungry. We've seen a little mistake develop into a big crash before at Canberra at round 2. He needs to calm it down. He's so hungry, which is great in a kid. He needs to calm it down a little bit.
Kingsford, Kingsford, not the place to get a little untidy through those new developed whoops here. You need to stay on your game when you get into something like this. You can't let the pressure get to your head of that small mistake, because it's going to magnify the next mistake you make, and it's going to end badly. So he needs to calm down, otherwise his day, and seriously, his day could turn very bad very quick.
Well, that's the problem with Ryder Kingsford at the moment. His speed, his aggression, and his never say die attitude, unquestionable. Combine that with a little mistake and not being in race position on the track where he wants to be on a track like this can potentially be not very, very nice to you. You need to make good decisions, line selection, continue to make some mistakes. It's so hard to calm yourself down and try to find a little bit of smoothness and form.
And that is key a lot of the time. Slowing down actually gets you a quicker lap time. Really important for the younger riders to learn this. This guy up front, though, is probably the most senior rider of this class. He's had a lot of experience through...
No, he is actually a year younger than your Benny Novaks and your Ty Keens.
Wow, okay.
So the thing is there was so much hype about Blake Fox because of, well, the size of him.
Yes.
And also, a lot of people remember back to Gilman National Junior Championships where he was battling with Alex Larwood. However, he chose to go up a class, and there was a lot of talk about KTM at the time moving him up a whole year early to senior. Then we had COVID, so there's a bit of confusion about it. In fact, I got some of the info wrong at the last round. So no, he's actually a whole year younger than we think, and he's a whole year younger than a lot of the older level guys. So your Benny Novaks, your Ty Keens, and there's a few others. So he's doing really quite well. He's not quite as young as your Campbell Williams, and then of course your really young riders like your Caden Miniers, but he's sort of in the middle there somewhere. Like I said, it gets a tad confusing with this class because there's so many.
Well, I was actually, to be quite honest, I was skeptical about this class. When they announced it, I didn't think it was going to work. I wasn't a huge fan of the under-19s when we had it. I think, though, this has really developed into a fantastic class. And as you said, for the riders, the younger riders, to actually be able to develop their skills and increase their skills is really showing it here in this class with these races. And we see the 62 machine right there, Ryan Alexanderson. He is having a good run, sits in there behind is a Benny Novak, I think, also up there. Oh, Novak almost off the bike there, the front wheel getting ripped out of his hands as they went through that rut. So it is a good little battle here. This is for 6th and 7th. So
now Benny Novak's 3rd in the championship. Now he needs to put a band-aid on it at the moment, Hammy, because he's having some struggles and starting to fall back a bit. He's currently in 6th place, but under pressure from 7th. This could be really quite damaging for his points.
Holroyd also back there on the 28 machine. We saw him in back of shot, right there actually on the back wheel of the Yamaha. So yeah, this is a good little battle, but these are all riders that we're going to see trying to push their way up. That was Kingsford just passing our camera right there. These are riders that could play into, you know, the next race. They get themselves a good start. There's potential they could be running up there and pushing for the top 3 places as well.
Ryder has managed to sort his little issues out at the moment. I don't think it's going to be too long until he manages to sneak past Campbell. And Campbell's going to need to try to throw a hook onto the back of his fellow training partner. These guys live and train together, these two. Oh, off the side of the track there for Ryder Kingsford.
Just to close out that statement from Connor Towell, you say he's picked up the space, he looks great. Well, actually in the last 2 laps, both of them, he has set his fastest lap times of the race, both laps. So he is really moving forwards at the moment. Nowhere near the fastest lap of the race of Blake Fox with a 151 earlier on. Fox on his last was 154, so still got a bit of time, but both of the last 2 laps of Connor Towell, both 156 is the fastest he has done on track. But this is where the real battle is, right here. Kingsford has, well, I don't know if I could say he's settled in a bit more, but he looks a little bit more comfortable. He's still making them small mistakes. A lot of pressure, though, on Williams right now.
Yeah, Campbell Williams definitely feeling the pressure at the moment, but hey, it's great for him to be up there. This is the first time that he's been up against these older guys and the championship contenders, your Ryder Kingsford, your Blake Foxes. To get a little bit of TV time for him is just fantastic, and this will do wonders for his confidence because, oh, another big statement. Ryder Kingsford.
My statement's been thrown out the window. He hasn't settled down too much, but he is riding fast. No doubt, 156 that last lap around 158 for Williams in front of him, so that's why we see the distance close up. And again, off the track, these mistakes are going to cost you every single time. Williams with a little tuck of the front wheel there as well, so equally they're both making the mistakes, but it could be Kingsford that ends up winding up on the ground a bit quicker than any of the other ones. It's this MX3 race proudly presented by Maxxis Tyres.
Oh, it managed to somehow. That a bit of an optical illusion, but it almost looked like Kingsford was about to make a pass there on the inside. They have managed to stretch out the lead ever so slightly over Caden Minier back there. It continues, the young 14-year-old, to do a fantastic job back there in 5th place. Benny Novak holds on to 6th. But this battle is continuing to rage here between the Honda rider and the Yamaha rider.
I don't think it'll take much for Campbell Williams to find some different lines that may help him get some speed.
Looking fairly smooth. He hasn't made too many mistakes. Yes.
He does look comfortable. So if we do see a change for this position, then, you know, if he tags onto the back of Kingsford, we may see him be able to hold on. He definitely doesn't look like he's riding out of his comfort zone. As we see a big charge up the inside here for Kingsford down the inside. He's got plenty of pace, and I think Williams is just going to let him have that one.
Well, he didn't really have too much of a choice, did he? As we saw, Ryder Kingsford was super hard and landed right next to him on that jump. So some smart riding from both of these riders, and the last thing you want to do is to come together with someone and go down. As we see a little bit of a replay there, it was just Ryder Kingsford scrubbing and staying nice and low, and they were almost trying to go for the same run, weren't they? A little bit of common sense prevailed. They gave each other some room, no problem whatsoever. Great to see from such young riders, still juniors.
Nice racecraft. That's
yes.
what you expect out of someone that's been doing it for many, many years. But that back wheel is really stepping out. Is that a change? No, that's not linear up down, left rider. As we still have 6 minutes to go in this race, they threw Maxxis turn right there. We go back to our leader in the AMX Superstore turn.
Wow,
that
has not put a foot wrong.
He looks good.
Fastest lap time of the race at 151.9. Roughly 3.5 to 4 seconds faster than the next closest lap time on the track. So clearly a league of his own, but if you watch closely on screen, it's not just lap time, it is finesse, line selection, body size. Yes, he's still young, but he
looks like he should be on a 450,
developed
doesn't he?
quickly. Let's call him the man-child. You know, he's doing exceptionally well, flying the flag very well for Gas, and he's picked up right where he left off at Canberra.
And it looks good on the bike. That CWP performance suspension is dialed in here. It has not stepped a foot wrong as he goes down into these deep ruts once again, into some left riders. And that's another thing too. He's very smart. He's been able to manage his different lines going into these, reading the plays really good, coming up on these left riders. It just looks so comfortable at the moment. What he really needs to do is, at the moment, he's in a class of his own, no doubt about it. So his focus should be, okay, let's try and get these lap times down so he can start matching that MX2 class.
That's what he needs to be looking at, absolutely.
And trying to, you know, it's no good just going out there just to ride to win. Right now, that's no problem for him. He really needs to focus on that next step on the chain, and that is to try and get up there and run with those MX2 boys. And right now, he's in a position where he can watch, learn, and try and do that each time he's on the track. We just look back to see the next place rider. There it is, Kingsford on the 21.
Kingsford.
Yep, so he has closed in just a little bit, but quite a comfortable gap between second and third and fourth. A smart rider right now, I think, would just say, righto, that's me done for this race. I don't believe I'm going to get up there. I will just conserve, take the points. A third place is still a good place to start the day out. It's still good for the championship. Anything more than that, I think you're just risking too much.
Yeah, we've still got 3 minutes on the clock before we get that last lap board. So we've still got perhaps 4 laps. 3 laps? 3 laps? 3 to 4, maybe, depending on the luck of when you cross that finish line. So we'll watch this space, but on screen at the moment with Ryder Kingsford on the Yamaha Junior Development Team YZ250F. So doing a great job. He's smoothed it out a little bit now. He doesn't have the red mist in the goggles trying to get past someone at the moment. However, he will certainly be hoping to try to reel in Conatau, and that he doesn't seem to be taking too much of a chunk off that 7-second time. If anything, it's gone from 7.2 up to 7.9.
Well, 8 seconds now.
So we have a little bit of a look here from Conatau, who did a 1:57.1.
Hey, he matched the leader.
Yeah, exactly. We're a 1:57.4 for Ryder Kingsford. So a very, very good lap time there.
This is a great opportunity for all of these riders to explore the track a bit right now. Going to the next moto, think about where your options are, especially if you don't get that great start. You need to know where those option lines are so that you can make those passes nice and early while everyone's still stuck together. So we see some of our riders a little bit further back. It doesn't matter where we look at the track, everyone is out there blasting around trying to race for position. We've got a little battle between these two. Nice move there by the 757.
The pressure is on well and truly for Benny Novak, who's just perhaps not finding his flow here on a track like this. You can imagine, big mistake there. could potentially drop another position. This is the kind of track where you can either find some flow, or if it goes pear-shaped and your arms pump up, this would be a living nightmare out there for you at the moment.
Alex Anderson with a good ride there on the 62, as we said. He has made that pass and he's starting to open up that gap over the rest of the field in behind them, but it is all about Benny Novak. He does need to maintain that position for another lap after this one. He doesn't want to be losing any more points in the championship. Now, he's been very comfortable in the local races as well. Benny Novak has looked good at the East Coast, both here and at Cessnock.
There's a battle, Hammy, sorry to cut you off there. There is 0.6 of a second between Campbell Williams and Caden Minier that we just had on screen there.
Top of screen there.
And Caden Minier, the youngster, is not the kind of kid you want all over the back of you, because he's got a heart of gold, that kid. He will just go right the way to the checkered flag. So Campbell Williams has got his hands full here. He needs to try to hold off that young Western Australian sandgroper.
Third place right there, so about to come into screen with the other two riders as well, not too far behind the rider that is on screen at the moment. That is Kingsford. After his early race problems, he is still looking very comfortable there in third place. As he heads up towards the finish line, we should be able to get the tail end.
Last lap board, here we go. So our leader, Blake Fox, has received the last lap board. Now we just saw Ryder Kingsford, who Connor Towell, of course, also must have received that. So Ryder Kingsford, 1 lap to go as the remainder of the crew start to make their way through. So Blake Fox, he'd almost be that half a lap to go to take the win here and receive the checkered flag in race 1 of the Maxxis Tyres MX3 Moto 1.
Holroyd did make that pass on Novak as well. We just saw that, so bad day for Novak. You know, some days you just don't feel comfortable when you get on the bike, and this appears to be one, as we see our leader go through Dunlop turn there. That is Blake Fox. He doesn't look uncomfortable at all. You know what? He looks flawless in this race, honestly. I'm very, very impressed with the way he's turned this around.
Really does look great, and look, that's what we expect from him. It's great to see, he's almost doing a Cole Webster-esque type ride. You know, that's what we're seeing from Blake Fox here. Not quite the domination, as in hasn't won every single moto. He certainly had a little bit of competition from Ryder Kingsford in some moto, who took the round win at Wonthaggi. However, since then, Blake Fox has rebounded, and he has come up trumps here. And certainly looking this way, he's going to take the victory here. Only got a handful of corners to go for the factory gas rider. Makes his way through. It is all about Blake Fox here as he approaches the finish line. A big win here for Blake Fox in Moto 1 of the Maxxis Tyres MX3, checkered flag out. He will be over the moon with that, as will his team. But quite possibly the standout ride of this race, this kid hasn't put a foot wrong. Connor Towell continues to hold on to second, 21 seconds back, but he has kept that 6-ish, 7-second gap. He comes up over the checkered flag now for a solid second place. A little bit of a fist pump there. Very happy Danny Ham.
Of course, Blake Fox, Connor Towell in second. Ryder Kingsford, after his little problems earlier on, gets himself to third. Caden Minier, Campbell Williams, Ryan Alexanderson with a fantastic ride. Cooper Holroyd, Benny Novak, Kobe Drew, and Tyne Keane back there in 10th.
Travis Olander there in 11th place. 13th, we see Hunter Collins. Expect him up a little bit higher. He's a great young rider. Cody Kilpatrick, Liam Jackson, Kobe Hantis in 16th. Jack Mather out of Queensland, gun rider. Something must have happened.
He went down early in the race. I did see him on the side.
Stevens once again from Tassie, factory KTM rider. Would have certainly been hoping for a little bit more from him.
Justin Harrow on the number 3 machine. He was also back there. I expected possibly a bit of a better ride from him. We've seen some great results out of him as well. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more turning around in the next races. We go down to our race winner with Rihanna.
Yeah, taking out the Maxxis MX3 Moto 1 on the gas. Blake Fox, congratulations. Just tell me, what is it like out there?
Yeah, it's actually really tough. Track's pretty, notchy. The ruts don't quite flow as well as you'd want them to, but no, it's pretty good, eh? Like, it's good weather. We've happy to go racing again and have some fans out here, so it's good. But yeah, just happy, yeah.
You looked like you were doing it pretty comfortable, really stretched that gap out as the moto went on. Were you aware of how much distance you had to the next guys?
Yeah, I had, somewhat of an idea. I just Dad was on the pit board. I was just trying to focus on my lap times, and just try to better myself if I could throughout the race. But yeah, it was pretty good. You know, I got off to a pretty decent start, made my way to the front as quick as I could, and then just tried to ride my own race, so it was good.
Congratulations, Blake Fox. Looking forward to the second moto this afternoon. Got a couple of little fans over there with some signs saying congratulations. Awesome work.
What a day it's been already. The lead up to this one, we had heaps of rain forecast. The weather is fantastic. Let's head down to Rihanna for a quick update.
Yeah, once again, we've got Blake Fox and Connor Towers starting from this same position that they started from earlier today. These are the only two positions that the whole shots have come from today. So I think looking at those two to grab that whole shot position, Blake Fox had a 20-second lead in that earlier moto. See if he can go out deep front and stay nice and consistent and get the job done once again.
Well, you called it, Rihanna. It's all about the concrete start here on a track that is so critical to get a good jump out of the gate. Being concrete, a lot of people don't have the techniques. A little bit of a bonus there for the Victorians who have so many concrete gates. Let's have a look here at the Maxxis Tyres lineup for the MX3 category Moto 2. Blake Fox, Connor Towell, Ryder Kingsford, Connor Rosadic. We've got Benny Novak, Hunter Collins and Jack Mather.
Tykean, Alexander, Fairbrother, Orlando, there's all plenty of riders that are very, very quick indeed that can jump out to an early start in this one. As we see, the 15-second board is up. Soon as that turns sideways, we will get this one away, and you can see it right here. We are set to get Moto 2 underway. Who will jump out fastest? Who will crack under the pressure?
Oh, a great jump once again from Connor Towell. Looks like he got out equal with Blake Fox, and someone else there in the middle has come through. Let's keep an eyes peeled on that.
Towell!
Someone's gone down there. It looks, I believe that may have been Hunter Collins.
I think so.
Yeah, I can spot that riding gear and that helmet. And who else is being caught up?
Well, Blake Fox, sorry, wasting no time to move into the lead there. Sorry to cut you off.
And likewise, Connor Towell,
Yes.
our top two place getters from last one.
Both of them launched out great off the start, but I honestly thought it was Ryder Kingsford that was going to lead them into that second turn. But as it was turned out, Kingsford back there in third. He is keeping plenty of pressure on our second place rider at the moment. So we just look back through the rest of the field and see who else might have been stranded in those first couple of turns. But our leaders now pushing their way through the center part of the track. Again, this is a bit different to what they might remember the last time they were on track. There's been a lot of laps done since then, and there are some new lines that have opened up for these riders to try and figure out the best way through. On the left-hand side, there is Blake Fox. Back over the jump. We'll have a look at the background.
Style, and have a look at the lead that he has pulled already. Ryder Kingsford on the Yamaha Junior Development Team's moved himself up into second already, relegating Connor Towell back to third. So there's a nice little battle for overall. Campbell Williams in shot there, battling with Caden Minion. Now those two have come right down to the wire to get that fourth spot in that first race. Two riders that are well and truly still in their junior careers. Great to see the boys up there.
These guys really trying to work their way through this deep part of the track. As we look up in the top left there, our Matrix Concept Whole Shot Award does get awarded to the 22 machine of Connor Towell. And already we are seeing it here with Blake Fox. He is starting to open up that lead already.
Well, as Jeremy McGrath's mechanic used to say and put on the pit board all the time, I think it's a case for Blake Fox of run and hide. And he's pretty much hidden already, and we just completed lap number 1, a 5-second interval at the end of lap 1. That is absolutely incredible.
So the first portion lap time, it's not a complete lap, was a 140 compared to a 145.
Oh, that's slopped through there. Number 54, we got a Victorian rider. I believe that could be Benicio Caiafa. Let's have a quick little look here and try to pick it up. I'm sure that's Benicio on the Suzuki machine.
Connor Rosendich there on the 202 machine. He's having a good race this time around as well. He sits back there in third place at the moment, which means we've lost someone, possibly, according to our timing.
Fox, Kingsford, Connor Towell.
Connor Towell, yes.
Looking like, and hey, that kid is so talented, but every now and then can have that little bit of a tip over, and if there's one little chink in his armour, it's the one thing he wants to try to get rid of is those crashes. And Danny, you cannot afford to have a crash this early in the race. You know, what may in the middle of the race end up as just dropping 1 or 2 spots, you drop 20 spots at this time because it's so jammed up.
Well, there's Ryder Kingsford just in front of Campbell Williams as well, so he's gone down as well.
Kingsford's had some kind of a drama, so let's just try to catch him up as obviously live timing's trying to keep up with the amount of action and the speed at which it's happening out there on the track.
We're just looking, there's Conatau on the right, just going through the whoops.
Oh.
So he's a long way back as one of the riders go down the background.
Two, another one getting collected on the way through. So it's like a pinball machine going on out there. It's just absolute chaos at the moment.
As the dust starts to fly towards the 14 machine, that was one of those riders that went down. So unfortunate for him, that's not the way you want to start your second moto of the day. Very wide line there for one of our riders. There is Benny Novak on the number 70 machine. He currently sits there in 4th place.
And he's in a nice little battle with Jack Mather there on the Husqvarna from out of Queensland. So Benny Novak is right up there in 3rd place in the championship, and he will certainly be hoping to try to improve from his first race, where, if you remember, started up reasonably far at the head of the pack, but managed to make his way back a little bit. Where there was a bit of arm pump and not feeling comfortable in these conditions, Benny will be hoping to try to ride through that and make amends for that first one.
Well, I think he looks a bit different in this one. Much more aggressive. It was almost like it was a defensive ride last time out on the bike. He didn't look like he was settled. This time around, it's a different face on him at the moment. He is putting a lot of pressure on our 3rd place rider, Rosendich, on the 202 machine as they go through the centre part of the track. Riding behind them, someone we need to mention because he also had a good ride in the first one. There's a 28 machine of Holroyd. He made up a lot of passes.
Absolutely. Let's just give a little bit of a recap here. Blake Fox in the lead from Ryder Kingsford and Connor Rosendich in our top 3. Benny Novak, Cooper Holroyd and Campbell Williams. We've got Jack Mather, Caden Minia, who was up in 4th place. Ryan Alexanderson back in 9th and Kobe Drew in 10th. So it'll be interesting to see how points are working around at the moment. Blake Fox and Ryder Kingsford easily our top 2 for podium at the moment, but Campbell Williams perhaps looking at the moment like a 3rd place overall as points sit at the moment. Let's just quickly go down to Rihanna.
Yeah, just had a chat to the team in regards to Ben Novak. I said, what was his feelings after that first moto? They said certainly wasn't happy. He rode really tight, wasn't breathing the way he should be breathing in these motos. So he's obviously had to think about that and a bit of a reset for this second one.
Well, it doesn't take much, does it, Lee? When you don't feel comfortable on the bike, it's just the little things, the small mistakes in the corners. As soon as you tighten up, those mistakes are amplified. If you're not breathing, you're still going to tighten up. Your arms could pump up just a little bit, and it makes it very difficult to go out there and ride the way you know you should be able to ride. So much improved this time around, Benny Novak. He looks very good. It was a stab of the brakes there, though, to try and stop for that run.
Yeah, it all started from a little bit of a boot in the rear end off one of those kickers and then jumping the rear brakes. You need to be careful because something like that can flow into the next corner, the next one. Next thing, you've pumped up a bit, and it's a chain of events that's really hard to turn around and get back into your favour.
We're looking a little bit further back here. It looks like maybe Patrick that might be on screen having a bit of a battle. It's good battles everywhere on track at the moment. No matter where you look, these guys are really pushing it. And it's just to point out that we are seeing Campbell Williams is moved up there as well in 5th place. So yeah,
it looks like he just jumped up a position, must have passed Cooper Holroyd. So he's well and truly up in 3rd place overall as points stand at the moment.
Nice. Well, just looking then too, something we noticed in the first motos, Lee, was down that straight we just saw prior to this shot was a very creative inside line that we saw a few of the riders using. And it very obvious that they've put some hay bales there to try and define the edge of the track just a little bit better. So you can see some of them riders just then trying to squeeze as much out of that fresh track area as they could, riding right against those hay bales. We'll point it out next time we get past there.
Now, Danny, let's just quickly make point here that fastest lap time at 150 for Blake Fox. The next closest is a 154. He is on his own planet at the moment, and particularly today. He obviously likes this style of track, and he just looks so at home. And I think you may have mentioned earlier on in the live streaming for Moto 1, he'd be right up there somewhere in the mix in the MX2 category.
Yeah, that's exactly where he needs to be aiming for, isn't it? That's his next stepping stone. He needs to push towards that. He needs to check off his times. This is the part I was talking about on the left just there. You can just catch the hay bales. So that line is pretty much taken out of the equation for most of these riders. But that's not going to affect this rider here, Ryder Kingsford. Looking very good. A bit more composed this time, Lee. He did get a little flustered, we thought, after his crash in Moto number 1, and definitely looks a bit more smooth, comfortable on the bike this time around?
Well, it's just his pure out-and-out hunger. When it goes bad for him and he's way back from where he wants to be, just can't control that. I need to be up there kind of thing, you know. So, and I can appreciate that, and I think it's a good thing to have in a younger rider, because it's so much easier to hone that out of someone and get them as they mature, to tame that down a bit, rather than to try to get someone that's not hungry enough to all of a sudden get hungry. It's a quality that I like to see in a young rider like that.
Well, Novak's still working on Resenditch. Yep, just there in front of him as they went through Bell Corner right there. And he is still right on the back wheel there. Two separate lines over this part, a split part of the track. You have the inside and outside line, and earlier on that other line was probably pretty good. Now it seems like it's moved across to the other side.
Then we can just see Campbell Williams. They're starting to edge up into a battle with these three. He's right on him now. He's come from about 3 seconds back to almost onto the back of Benny Novak there. So
Holroyd right on the back of him as well. So we could see a little four-way battle going on in a matter of laps, I guess. We still have 10 minutes to go in this one. With a 154, there's probably about 5 or 6 laps to go, so plenty of time on track for these riders to settle out this battle that they've got going on as they come around towards the finish line again. Here we go, Novak around the outside.
And it really is a case, Hammy, of Blake Fox being in a league of his own alongside Ryder Kingsford. So those boys doing a 153 and a 154, first and second, versus a 159, 158. Campbell Williams a 157, so
and Holroyd behind him as well.
So the boys have stepped up a little bit here, and that's the second time in a row that we've seen
Williams right on.
Yeah, Campbell. I think it's only a matter of time here as Campbell tries to set up a nice little pass on the inside there, moves up a position into 4th place for Cambo.
Done so smoothly as well, and that's what we were talking about with the little kicks of the bike. It doesn't take much to unsettle you and drown out that confidence that you might have had that made you feel a little uncomfortable. So right there we saw a good example of it. Nice pass up to the inside there. I can't quite pick up that Yamaha rider, but a little pop over the top right there was a nice move. And there's Holroyd right on the back wheel of Novak as well.
We've got Benny Novak that didn't like that pass by Campbell Williams, and looks like he's trying to bounce back. So a nice little to and fro battle going on there with the two red riders. Mistake from Novak, and a great battle going on here.
Yeah, this is good. Really good racing at the moment. So let's see who's got the stronger mind on them as they run down towards the latter part of this race. There we go. Holroyd has got himself around Novak as well, so Holroyd's the man.
Yes, and he's really trying to latch onto the back of Campbell Williams at the moment. A slightly different lines there. He's managed to pick up the pace, has Cooper Holroyd, and as to how this is going to play out and where they're going to finish, I think it's going to, a little bit of arm pump could play into a factor here.
Oh, a mistake there by Resenditch as he went over that little pop over the jump.
Totally did, yes.
And stalled the bike. He was trying to get it going, but it doesn't take much at all. He has dropped back maybe 4 positions right there. There is Mather as well on the back of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, small mistake. Does not take much to lose that ground. And we see the pass being made by these guys. Now, will Holroyd continue to move forward to try and battle it out with Williams up there for 3rd place? Definitely Williams has secured himself a spot on the podium where he sits at the moment.
Yeah, quite comfortably at the moment. But who knows, there's just so much racing left to go, and they're so close. As things sit at the moment, Blake Fox with a 1-1 would be overall on the day. Ryder Kingsford a clear 2nd overall, now that he doesn't have Connor Towell trying to pick up where he is in the big scheme of things. And Campbell Williams a clear 3rd place with a couple of positions to work with at the moment. So great to see both 2nd and 3rd place there, juniors in their last year of junior racing. So fantastic stuff.
Holroyd looking down the inside. One thing you've got to notice with Campbell Williams is just he doesn't even look like he's trying. So he's just standing up everywhere, really, really smooth. The intensity, it's something that I always preach when I've got people to teach us the smoothness is the key. You get smooth, your speed will come with it. You know, you can see these erratic riders that look like they're going fast, but not always. How's the wheelie through there by Holroyd?
Holroyd, keeping that back wheel on the ground and planted all the way through. That was...
big drive.
Yeah, really nice, keeping that Yamaha driving right through there. Campbell Williams is...
He's going to have to hurry.
Yeah, he's got his hands full with someone that's prepared to let it all hang out. How is it to see completely different riding styles between the two riders?
Yeah, completely different. As we see them head towards the finish line, we have 6.5 minutes still in this race plus 1 lap, so a lot more racing yet to go.
Still plenty of time.
In this, absolutely. Up and over is the Honda rider. He is a long way back from our second place. It's 18 seconds, something like that, to second place in front of them. So this is the battle for themselves. They won't make it any further up without any mishaps up the front. And the leader is clear, absolutely clear of everyone.
And it's good to see that lap times have stabilised somewhat. We've got Blake Fox, who's at 1:55 in the last lap, and then we got
Knack off the bike. Benny
Novak has had a big one and just trying to turn his day around, and unfortunately it's gone pear-shaped for the Honda rider here in Moto 2.
And I'm going to pick it up. Watch this kick of the back wheel. We've said it every single lap so far. It's upset him nearly every single lap, unfortunately.
That took a big digger there. That was a little bit of a hit to the ground with the head. Caden Minia getting nice evasive action there, avoiding him. We get back to Campbell Williams has just got himself the smallest of gaps here, enough so that you don't start worrying about, you know, someone coming up the inside line of you perhaps.
I think he's found some nice lines this race, that being Campbell Williams. He's been exploring a bit. He's out on the outsides in some of the turns where we thought earlier on weren't so great. A little mistake there, though, going into that turn, the back end stepping out. He did manage to catch it, but that, again, allows Holroyd to gain that small amount of confidence. And have a look at the wheelies again through there. Holroyd is good at it. It wasn't a fluke.
No, he knows what he's doing through there, and he can see. That's what Campbell needs to be a little bit careful through there, because if Holroyd manages to stick to the back of him and they get to that section, not only is Williams going slower through there, but he opens up the inside line. So there will be almost a certain pass there.
Mistake again by Williams. He's starting to feel that pressure now as we enter the very last part of this race. 4 minutes to go, plus the extra lap. So another 3 or 4, well, at least 4 laps. Pre-laps, I would say.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's looking for that last lap board. If he can make it to that last lap board, there's a chance he's going to hold it. Have a look at the back wheel here. This is amazing stuff. Watching Holroyd go through there like that.
I'll tell you what, if the camera work, we can keep it on that particular rider, but on Cooper Holroyd, when we get to that part of the track again, Campbell Williams needs to make sure he's got that gap, but otherwise there's going to be a pass made there.
Yeah, well, that's the thing though. This is up to Holroyd now. He needs to close the ground before he gets there. He's not going to do mistakes like that.
No, that's right. We're not too far away from getting to that that part of the track as we speak. But what a battle we're seeing here. Sensational stuff. Not quite sure, I'm not too familiar with Cooper Holroyd, but do know the white numbers on the background. We're talking about a senior rider versus a junior rider here, and that's that's what we're getting in these classes, is the beauty of being able to have juniors and seniors battling together. These guys are very close.
Yep.
And you know what? This is a smart rider. Cooper Holroyd knows how close he needs to be. And then just like that, the gap just comes back again.
If he maintained that, he would have had a good chance of it going through the rollers this time around. But just that one little straight, I don't know what it was.
He's doing everything he can to get back on it again, but it's just not going to be quite enough.
No, but you can see it. Yeah. If he is there, he's looking at that inside line, trying to dive it in there. As we see, another rider that's gone down. 3:04, Dominic Wilson by the looks of it. 2:47 to go in this one for Campbell Williams. 3 more laps. He's doing all right at the moment. He's managed to hold off the pressure that's been put to him. Every time we see Holroyd get in close, Williams responds by opening up that gap just a little bit again, a little bit of breathing room. It's exactly what we need to see out of him to maintain that 3rd position. So clock down another one. Really smooth, beautiful, and quick through there, isn't it? Williams, Holroyd on screen right now is looking fantastic. But every time he gets in close, Williams answers the call.
Yeah, and the thing you've got to consider at this time of the race, he's stretched out quite a handy little lead at the moment. What you've got to consider is when you're riding the way that Campbell Williams is riding, you use a little bit less energy than Cooper Holroyd is when he's letting it all hang out a little bit. Now, he might be the type of rider that doesn't mind letting it all hang out. It still takes more energy to ride that way than it does to be smooth. So coming into these latter stages of the race, you've got to prefer to be that one that's being sort of fairly smooth.
Well, through the centre part once again, but we go back to our leader as he goes down towards Max's turn, and he still controls a 24-second lead over second place.
Incredible. What an interesting place to park your bike there for our number 4 Kawasaki machine.
It's the last place you need to be when you're out there. 1:13 to go. So we have 2 laps left for our leader. Right now, as he over the finish line jump in behind a couple of lapped riders with the lead he's got. He can take as much time as he likes to get around these guys, make sure he doesn't come into any little unforeseen troubles trying to get past them, let them do what they need to do, and then make their way past these riders with ease. There's another one just about to go down as well, and Fox looking like he's on his way for another win.
I just did a quick little double check there, Hammy. Cooper Holroyd got himself a 7th place in Moto 1. So if he managed to get past Campbell Williams in this one, that'd be very, very close. I believe that Campbell would knock him off the podium for the final spot for 3rd place on the podium by about 1 point. Very, very close. So this is going to come right down to the wire, and I just don't know if Cooper Holroyd completely understands how close he is to getting his first ever podium in a national championship, and certainly for junior rider Campbell Williams to get his first podium. Not quite sure if he realises where Holroyd finished in that first one. So hopefully the pit boards are keeping them well and truly up to date. We just clicked 0, so we're lap 11 of 12. 0 on the timer. 1 more lap to go, so this time as Blake Fox comes around, he is staring down the barrel of a stellar day, let me tell you.
Through the lap traffic, very strong on the bike. He's a big kid. We've mentioned that before. He looks almost to the point where you could think he could ride a 450, honestly. He's a big kid on this bike, but he manhandles it all the way around. And another rider that is just so smooth. It's the style of riding he is. Extremely smooth and calculated as he goes through these ruts. There is our 2nd place rider, Ryder Kingsford. A long way back, as we said, just negotiating another one of the downed riders. And he'll be receiving the last lap board as he comes around as well. So just take a look on the left there of the split between our riders, and it's only about half a second between Williams and Holroyd at the moment. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty close going into this final lap.
It is so close. I'm sure you could almost throw a blanket over those 2 riders, but with the final lap coming down, and obviously the boys about to cross the finish line. Here we go. Pass is made. Okay, well it's almost time to start doing the maths and see how this is going to play out. It's going to be super close. I think there's 1 point in it, and we're going to have to wait and see what it pans out at, because what an amazing feat it's going to be for either one of these 2 riders.
There is Williams now in 4th. It looks like Conatell right there. That they've just put a lap down on. It's not where we expected him to be. Unfortunate for him with that little incident earlier on in this one, so we don't know exactly how that happened. But you see 3rd and 4th. It's still not over yet. Williams is still trying. It's good to see. I'm sure he realises that there's only 1 lap left. If he does a few clean corners right here, he's got a good chance of retaking this position.
Yep, nice close little battle here, but I tell you what, Blake Fox must be ever so close to going over that checkered flag. He's got a massive lead ahead of him, and he'll be about to receive that checkered flag and turn this into a clean sweep and stretching out that 12-point lead in the championship even more, Danny Ham.
Up over the tabletop down the very back. Very good call there, Lee. I was going to say the rollers, but he has done everything absolutely right today. 2
corners to go. What a way to do the day.
Well, you won't see a much better ride out of a motocross rider as we've seen this kid do today. Blake Fox round the last turn, so calculated. He will come across and take the win in Moto number 2. A perfect day for Blake Fox on the gas.
Congratulations, Blake Fox. Red plate holder will manage to keep that red plate. We've still got quite a few seconds until the Yamaha rider, number 21, still junior rider, Ryder Kingsford, will make his way over the finish line and secure himself a solid second place overall on the day. Incredible job for the Yamaha rider, cementing his second place in the championship so far.
There is Holroyd too, that also looks like he's managed to hold off the attack from Williams. He's going to come across in third place as well. So really solid ride by Holroyd, and it is going to be so close in the points for the overall for the day. As we take a quick look at Maxxis Tyre MX3 results, it was Blake Fox, of course. We saw that brilliant ride by him. Ryder Kingsford, Cooper Holroyd with a fantastic ride as well. Campbell Williams comes across in fourth. Ryan Alexanderson, Kobe Drew, Caden Minia, Travis Olander, Jack Mather, and Tyne Keenan with another 10.
Byron Dennis there on the gas in 11th. We've got Jet Burgess Stevens, Rory Fairbrother. We've got Liam Jackson down in 15th. Hunter Collins. The list of names goes on. These guys up there in the top 20 of the Maxxis Tyres MX3 Moto 2.
We're going to head down to Rihanna with our winners.
Yeah, time now for the podium for the Maxxis MX3 Moto number 2. Blake Fox, you are in a league of your own at the moment today. Absolutely whitewashed. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was a pretty perfect day, I think. You know, 2 good starts, good qualifying, and yeah, 2 race wins. Just felt like I was just riding my own race today, so it was good. And can't give a big enough thanks to all the team at Gas Australia, Pirelli Tyres, Thor MX, Motor X, Spy Goggles. Yeah, everyone else, yeah, thanks for that. Yeah.
Congratulations. Enjoy this moment. Taking out second position today on the Yamaha. Ryder Kingsford, you didn't quite get the motor you wanted earlier today, but great to get on the podium this afternoon.
Yeah, Moto 1 went off to a pretty average start, crashed in the first couple laps and made it hard on myself, but then was a lot better. I got into a better position up early, and then Blake was just too good today. So, yeah, just like to thank all my sponsors for getting me where I am, Yamaha, Yamaliv, Visita Scott, Just One, Outpoint Stars, the Beatons Pro Formula, and John Park over at JP's Performance, and yeah, just thanks to all them guys.
Congratulations, Ryder, on the podium again today and taking out third place and rounding out our final position on the podium. Congratulations, Cooper Holroyd. Boy, you had to work for it towards the end between yourself and Campbell Williams. Congratulations.
Yeah, it was a hard chase, but towards the end I just had to make the move. I knew I had to stick it in. Unfortunately for him, he made a mistake. Good for me, but it was a good race between us.
Take some time to take a few deep breaths. Congratulations to all our podium place getters, Blake Fox, Ryder Kingsford and Cooper Holroyd.
Sensational job there from those 3, and of course Blake Fox taking the win with the double victory. Let's take a look here at the championship points for the Maxxis MX3 after round 4. Fox, Kingsford, Minia rounding out the top 3, back to Benny Novak, Kobe Drew, Ty Keen in 6th place, Jack Mather, Campbell Williams makes his way up to 8th, Cooper Holroyd with his podium there gets him to 9th, and Ryan Alexanderson rounding out the top 10.